What's up guys, Warmage once again with the third part of our tutorial with its aviation time on Flight Sim 2020. This is the third video of 8 and this one will be takeoff and level flight. So we'll be learning how to take off the aircraft and then maintain level flight after the takeoff. Hopefully you guys learned something in this video, and if you do happen to enjoy it, make sure to like the video down below. Comment any video ideas or flight suggestions for us to do, as we love exploring new ideas. And make sure if you're new, subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications so you know when we post any new It's Aviation Time content. Anyways, in this training, the description says, there's nothing like the thrill of taking flight, a training session dedicated to getting you off the ground and flying straight and level. In this training, we will taxi into position at takeoff, manage attitudes and power to fly at different speeds, we will accelerate/decelerate at a level altitude, and we will refine aircraft handling skills. Once again, this is the same as last episode. Flight duration is only 7 minutes, and let's get into it. Alright, here we are once again in the training area of Sedona, Arizona.
There's an old saying I like. A mile of road will take you a mile. A mile of runway will take you anywhere. Taking off isn't hard, but there are a few key points to remember. First, we always take off into the wind, which won't be an issue on a calm day like today. Second, before we enter a runway, we always make sure it's clear.
Anyways, once again, we're going to focus on the runway right here with
Everything looks
my
good, no cross-traffic. Go ahead and
joystick
taxi
button
into
1,
position.
or I think it's period.
Rudder pedals should make steering
Anyways,
pretty easy.
other than that, we are going to replace the parking brake with what I set as control period, but it will be the default for you guys. And then we will throttle up just a little bit. You don't want to go too much or too fast. And we will throttle up just a little bit. And like I said, you want to make sure you use your rudder when you're on the ground. So we're going to make sure we use our rudder to steer us on the ground and get lined up on the runway, pretty much by following these taxi lines. And then you could set it to brake using your I set it to joystick button 1. I'm pretty sure it's also period. But use your brake, stop on the runway center line.
Alright, let's do this.
There you go.
Apply full power and I'll walk you through the takeoff as we go.
So pretty much normally in real life what you want to do first, normally what you do is that you put your throttle 40%, at least in modern jets, that's what you do. Throttle comes up 40%, you monitor everything, everything's looking normal. Okay, now what we do, then you increase it to full throttle. And when you're on the runway, make sure you just use your rudder to steer the aircraft and try.
Power until you reach 55 knots.
You just want to keep the center line while monitoring your airspeed.
Good. Now gently pull back.
So airspeed's at 55 knots, pull back.
Line up the top of your instrument panel so it's a couple inches above the horizon.
And there we
That'll
go.
pitch us up and set a good climb attitude. And we're airborne. Focus on flying straight. Use your rudders to keep the runway heading of 210 degrees.
So we want to keep
Maintain
210.
75 knots, and we'll reach our target altitude of 5,500 feet in no time.
So yeah, we want to pull back. So you don't want to really change your throttle. What you want to do is that you just want to change your attitude so you maintain that speed. And that's what we call climb. That's pretty much the climb attitude. So even though I'm about 75 knots still, you just hold it there. If it's slowing down a bit, you bring your attitude down a bit. And if it's speeding up, then you bring your attitude up.
I'll be right back.
Let's make sure we climb. We only have about 200 more feet to go. We're at 5,500 feet.
Ah, 5,500
There we
feet.
go.
A nice safe altitude for part 2 of our lesson. Straight and level flight. First step here is adjusting our attitude.
So now that we're up at 5,500 feet, we're just going to want to slowly let off on the yoke. Just slowly bring that nose down to that equal 4 degree angle
Max
and just
power.
keeping that
To stay level
cruise
with our
attitude.
target altitude, let's start by easing the throttle back to 1800
And then
RPM.
once again, we just want to bring back that RPM like she said earlier, like earlier last video. Bring back that RPM so that we don't ascend,
You
we
probably
can
noticed to
descend.
maintain altitude, you need to pitch the nose up. You could just keep pulling on the yoke to hold steady, but that's not really a precise means of control. Probably better to adjust your trim wheel until you don't need to push or pull on the yoke. Drag the trim down when you need to set the nose up. Drag it up to set the nose down. Try adding trim to keep us at 5,500 feet without increasing throttle. If you feel our pitch slipping and need to get back to the proper attitude, don't worry. Just pull on the yoke, then dial in the right trim.
So pretty much we are going to use those control buttons that you have. I'm just gonna go to control 4 is a good one. And we just wanna bring the nose
The
down
way I
actually
was
a bit.
taught, when you adjust the trim, you make rough changes at first to remove pressure on the yoke. Then small adjustments to find the perfect
So as
setting
you can see,
to
if I
your
look on the
desired
yoke, we're gonna
attitude.
fly straight down pretty
That's
much.
the key
So
to
we wanna go to
straight and level
takeoff.
flight.
So
It saves
plane
you
will
from
come up.
constantly pushing or pulling on the yoke.
But I think I just fucked it here.
And that gives you more time to enjoy the ride. If you want more practice using the trim, go for it. Whenever you're
So
ready
pretty
to
much you
pass
just
the
wanna make
controls, I'll be here.
slow adjustments with your trim. And I'm gonna try to make it level here.
Okay, I have control. Hope you enjoyed the lesson.
And yeah, most times though, you wouldn't be cruising at 1800 RPM. You want to be cruising really at like 2300. So anyways, in that video I showed you how to take off. Make sure you use your rudder to stay straight. So take off around 55 knots in this aircraft. Try to maintain equal flight. Don't really change your throttle. What you want to do is change your attitude to keep the climb speed. And then using your trim to get equal flight or maintain the same attitude. You just want to slowly change it. You don't want to change it too much because most times it'll be a pretty big reaction at first and then it'll kind of like equal out. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this third tutorial, which was takeoffs and leveling out with pitch trim. And hopefully you learned something in this video. If you did, make sure to like the video, comment down below if you have any video ideas for us to be doing on this channel, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And make sure to turn on those post notifications so you know when we post new content on It's Aviation Time. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.